Get ready for the show, it's about to begin. Pro fan talk when we dive right in. Sports talk, hot takes, ain't nothing we lack. We the real fans, nothing holding us back. Mic check, 1, 2, y'all know the drill. We bringing the energy, we keep it real. Touchdowns on liquid air, on the slam dunks on the court. Every sport, every game, we holding down the fort. We breaking down the plays, dissecting the stats. Pro fan talk, we keeping it fat. Debating with passion, no filter, no doubt. We the voice of the fans, we scream and we shout. Get ready for the show, it's about to begin. Pro fan talk when we dive.
I always forget to hit that button. What's going on, folks? This is Coach Marcus Pro Fan Talk. We are live at lunch. If you was the first, this is the first time you joining me. These are the rules. I will be going right now. It's 12:20. I will be going to probably about 12:50. So it's going to be short, sweet, to the point. I promise you, I will be done. You will have plenty of time to finish your sandwich, wash your hands, and get back to business. So, but wanted to collect my thoughts real quick with some stuff that was going on. And if you saw by the thumbnail, there is a lot of ego going around in professional sports and college sports. Just everything. Everybody, I don't know if it's just me, everybody just sensitive. It seems like everybody is just uber sensitive because with the social media landscape, everybody got something to say. Now, the problem is you don't know where it's coming from, so you got to pick your battles. We saw that with the WNBA last year. We've seen that consistently in the NBA for the past, I don't know, decade, I guess. You can't really stop fans from saying what they're going to say. But now it seems to have gotten to a new level because now with social media, everybody seeing how they can get paid. Now everybody wants to jump in other conversations. Now everybody wants to jump in and be a part of the train wreck because everybody's watching. I saw the stuff with Unc and Ocho and Asante Samuel saying Asante Samuel puts himself up there with Deion Sanders. And I'm like, I don't understand where he would get that from, but that's his opinion and he welcome to it. I ain't got to agree with it. But now it becomes a fight because, you know, I got to make this fight public because now I think Asante Samuel's got a podcast. Uncle and Ocho was one of the bigger podcasts online right now. So everybody's getting into the fight. You see on my wallpaper, you see Stephen A and LeBron, that situation has been going on. That's all same thing. That's all about ego. You can't talk about my kid. Now I don't like what you said. You criticizing me as a father. Is it misconstrued? Is it a misunderstanding? What is it? Because now when you're talking about social media and what you put on First Take and your shows and everything on ESPN, everybody got receipts. So it is not easy to figure out what you said, when you said it, how you said it, what the context was, all of that information. Very easy to figure out. But now the egos are so inflated, can't nobody say nothing about nobody without now you got to create a podcast to talk about it. And let me be honest with you, I'm benefiting from it, so I can't really complain too much, but I just think it's different. I'm from a different era. My rookie year in professional sports was 1993 with the Philadelphia Eagles. It was a whole different scene back then. There was no social media, all of that kind of stuff. And I've talked about this before. Back when I was playing with Seth Joyner and Clyde Simmons and, you know, Willie T and Randall Cunningham, when I was playing with those dudes, if the people at the Philadelphia Inquirer wrote something about you, usually it's the beat reporters. Those are the guys now, when you watch interviews, when you saw the interviews with A.J. Brown and all of that kind of stuff, there's usually about anywhere, it could be between 10 to 20 people in front of your face with a wireless mic. Or nowadays they got their phones and record on their phones. But it was the same thing back then. But those were the guys that wrote the articles. And they had to come in the locker room and look you face to face. It doesn't happen nearly as much as it used to. because now you got somebody in California writing on what's going on here in Philadelphia. You got somebody in Philadelphia writing about what's going on down in Texas. You got somebody in Texas writing about what's going on in New York. So nobody's actually in the city. So everybody's getting secondhand knowledge, or once again, sources, trying to figure out where the information is coming from. And everybody, if you're receiving this, if they're writing about you, if you are the subject of an article or Twitter comments or anything like that, everybody get uber sensitive. If you come back at it, if you don't come back a certain way, or even if you do come back a certain way and respond to it, or you bring back a rebuttal, you got half the people, yeah, that's what you should have said. You got other half of the people that are, he shouldn't have said it this way, you should have said it that way, or why did you even respond? So at the end of the day, you ain't gonna please anyone. The stuff with LeBron and Stephen A has gotten so far out of control now, it's hilarious. So now you got half the people talk, they on LeBron's side, the other half are on Stephen A's side, but half the people on Stephen A's side don't like Stephen A. So there's an angle to that. The people that think LeBron did right, half of them don't like LeBron for one reason or another. So they digging at him. You should have did this. You shouldn't went on Pat McAfee. It's all woulda, coulda, shoulda. He said what he said. He stood on it. Stephen A. Smith said what he said and he stood on it. So now they just going back and forth, and everybody's watching the train wreck. Everybody's watching the train wreck. Stephen A. Smith just signed a $100 million deal with ESPN. And his ratings are probably through the roof. Because again, Stephen A. Smith is a polarizing figure. Whether you love him or hate him, you are watching. You want to see the train wreck. He get paid either way. And then he was smart enough to go take it to his podcast, because he got the restraints on him. When he's on ESPN's airwaves, you can say some things, you can talk about some subjects. But when he get on his own podcast, the restraints are off. School's out. Unfiltered. That's why everybody's starting these podcasts now. It's unlimited. You can say what you want to say. It's not network TV. If you want to be X-rated, you can be X-rated. If you want to be R-rated, you can be R-rated. If you want to be PG, you can be PG. It's all up to you. So there are no restraints. So everybody knows if he didn't say it on ESPN, he damn sure gonna say it on this podcast. And once again, everybody's watching. Then I saw who was it? Kim Mulkey. A lot of people had something to say about Kim Mulkey's comments. Somebody, one of the reporters asked her a question. And she gave a smart aleck answer. Here's what she said. It wasn't as bad, but listen. He asked her a question about losing, and her response was, "How many Final Fours did you play in?" That was a little petty, but I've heard a hell of a lot worse, especially from Kim Mulkey. She is no stranger to controversy, because I remember when she went off a couple years ago. I think it was Angel Reese's last year, when she went off on a dude because they were supposed to run a hit piece about her, and she raised holy hell about it. And come to find out, the dude wrote an article that kind of put her in a positive light. So she looked stupid. So people's egos get overinflated, and it's come to a point where everybody gets so sensitive when anything is said about them. Anything is said about them. And sometimes the response is a little over the top. But for the most part, it's just funny right now. You see everything under the sun. I saw this the other day. The fight. What is it with Detroit always get into a fight? The balance at the palace. What is it with the Detroit Pistons? Is there something in the water in Detroit? They always get into a fight. But if you saw this fight, it was all about ego. I'm gonna dunk on you, or I'm gonna block your shot, and then you gonna wave your finger in my face, and yeah, you can't do that to me. And this, all these dudes making all of this money, and because you come from a certain city, you from a certain part of town, you can't do that to me. Well, he just did it. Now you embarrassed, and you trying to get a comeback and start some stuff that shouldn't be started. And the funny part is the amount of money that they are about to pay in fines. Some of them dudes are probably going to end up getting suspended, maybe a game or something like that. But all of them are going to get fined. But again, when you make that type of money, that's a drop in the bucket. But still, if you get fined 25, 30 grand, that's still 25, 30 grand. And I'm saying that. I don't know what the fines end up being. But I find it funny that everybody's quite happy throwing away money like that. I'll say, hell, if you don't throw away that type of money, throw it my way. I'd appreciate it. But everybody is in this day, alarm going on. In this day of social media, you got a big contingency of people online and otherwise that are just straight up thin-skinned. They are, anytime you say something about it or say something about them, you can either choose to ignore it and you got to pick your battles, or you don't enter into the fray. And once you enter into the fray, you fair game. If you're going to talk shit about somebody, put it online and they respond, and then their response gets a lot more support than what your original gripe was. If you put it out there, you put it out there. Herm Edwards, don't press send. It all comes back to that. What's up, 3K? I'm just babbling on my lunch, man. I ain't gonna be on long. I got about 15, 20 more minutes, bro. Just making it quick on my lunch break. But it's just too much stuff going on, man. It is amazing. Just and this is the climate that we in right now. This is the climate that we in. Everybody is thin-skinned. You can't say nothing about Caitlin Clark. If you say something bad about Caitlin Clark, you a hater, you a racist. If you say something bad about Angel Reese, you a hater, you racist. Whether it was true or not, whether if you were evaluating a game or say she didn't play well, you're going to get the extreme on both sides of it. Everybody thinks, and I'm saying this as a Caitlin Clark fan, everybody thinks Caitlin Clark is the best thing since sliced bread. As a Caitlin Clark fan, she's not there yet. She got a lot of things in her game to work on. And if you talk to her or if you've listened to her, she says the same thing. If you talk good or if you talk positive about Angel Reese, the first thing people say is, well, she's not as good and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, all I know is she got all them damn rebounds and nobody else could do it. So why you hating on her? Is it because she did it? You don't like her attitude? Then it goes into the next question. Are we going to really get into bad attitudes and the things that we've seen in professional sports years before Angel Reese ever existed? Stop playing. Angel Reese is what, 22? So if you want to go back 22 years before she was even born, look at some of the nasty attitudes and some of the stuff that we used to put up with and thought it was okay. And let's be real. Let's keep it 100. Back then, we put up with it because it was dudes doing it. It was guys doing it. But the minute the women come up and they get attitudes and they like the ball and they play physical, well, now you're trying to hurt people. And now they got to fix some things. And now maybe they need to lower the rims. And like, man, get out of here. How the hell did we get so thin-skinned, man? You can't say nothing about nobody. We need a ginormous planet-sized grandmama. Not your grandmother. We need somebody's grandmama. A ginormous galactic size, like the size of Galactus. But when you look at it, it's somebody's grandmama. So she could magically smack everybody in the back of the head and say, stop worrying about what everybody else talking about. What your grandma used to say, or your mom or your dad. If everybody jump off the bridge, that means you gonna jump too. That's what social media has turned into. Follow the leader, the lemmings, all of that type of stuff. It's funny. Appreciate you, Chris. Appreciate you, bro. This is everything, man. I'm just ranting, bro. I'm just ranting. I see all the stuff going on, man. It's funny to me. It's funny to me. Everybody got something to say. Everybody got to have a follow up, and everybody wanted to put it on the show. So it's all about gathering up your army of the armies of support. That's what it comes down to. It's funny. Like check this out. So I'm following the reports of the NFL owners meeting, and what is everybody talking about? They're talking about the tush push, the brotherly shove. Is it going to be banned? So NFL puts or NFL or ESPN, somebody put out a tweet where they were saying it's growing momentum about possibly banning the tush push. And then 2 seconds later, there's another article that says a lot of teams are against banning the tush push because it's not coming from a fair place. It's not coming from a genuine place. You don't want to change the rule because you think the rule is bad. You want to change the rule because you don't like Philadelphia is taking advantage of it. So you got both sides of it. So which side is right? You know what side I stay on? I'm a former Eagle. So that's easy. I'm biased. But of all the things to worry about, so then you see the report today, animated conversations and this, that, and the other. And it's funny to me. What's up, Carlos? You know what? I didn't even see Bart Scott this morning. I didn't even see it. Bart Scott, sometimes I flip-flop on Bart Scott. You know what? No, I ain't even gonna say that. Sometimes I like what he says, and sometimes I don't. Period. And that's how it should be with anybody. Anybody. Bart Scott is one of those guys, played a long time in the league. He knows the game. Without question, he knows the game. But sometimes his takes, he has that attitude like, if you don't agree with me, you're stupid. At least that's what the optics are to me, in my opinion. Now, some of his takes I agree with. Some of his takes I disagree with. And that's the way it's supposed to be. I don't particularly like I said, his attitude sometimes, because he gets that attitude, again, in my opinion, sometimes where if you don't agree with what I'm saying, well, you just stupid and you don't know what you're talking about. And that's not the case. Plenty of people that didn't play the game that know the game. Plenty of people that did play the game that don't. So I can take him or leave him, but I did not hear his comments today. I'll have to go back and look at it. But it's probably, one of them that don't like the tush push, and, they'll give you every example of why. Why can he give me every example why it should be banned, and you get another player that will say just the opposite? So who's right? It's all based on your opinion. And guess what? If Bart Scott had played most of his years with the Eagles, he would think different. So everybody got their own personal bias. So I'm going to check it out, Carlos. I'm definitely going to check it out. But it's just as many people that say, and I've said this before, if teams really wanted to stop the brotherly shove, go watch our game against Cincinnati. The Bengals. Shout out to my Cincinnati Bengals. Y'all know I bleed green, but I was born and raised in the jungle. So I got love for my Bengals. Go watch the Philadelphia Eagles at Cincinnati Bengals last season and watch how Cincinnati stopped the push. They were the only teams to stop it. If the Bengals stopped it, and it was another team that successfully stopped it, but they stopped it because I think, if I remember correctly, Jalen Hurts fumbled the handoff. It wasn't like they stopped the play. I think Jalen didn't get the snap. It wasn't a good snap. And we didn't get the first, whatever it was. It's only like 2, maybe 3 times this year where we got stopped with it. It wasn't a lot. But from what I've seen, Cincinnati did the best job in stopping it, where it wasn't a fumble snap. They just did whatever they did. They got underneath our guys, and Jalen couldn't advance the ball. So I don't understand why they don't watch that tape. Nobody said anything about Buffalo when they did it. And guess what? Buffalo got a quarterback that's what? 6'5"? So, yeah. But Commanders, okay. Thank you, Carlos. But it's just everybody just bitching, man. And again, the whole point of this conversation is because I see so much where everything is ego driven. Everything is ego driven. Even like the situation, like you saying with Bart Scott, is to me that's ego driven. You got to listen to me. I know what I'm talking about. Everybody else is wrong. That's strictly ego. Can't nobody have a rebuttal? You can't say nothing back. That's all ego, and it's wrong. Because I'm thinking in my head, if they do ban it, there's 3 or 4 different ways that you could run that play without pushing the quarterback. If their issue that you pushing the quarterback, then you know what you do? You line up your big guys over the guard tackle gap, and they shoot the gap. And when Jalen gets the ball, he's got to slide over to the left like he normally does on that play and just follow the guard. The only difference is now he got to push the guard. He's the push. Is a couple different ways you can run that play successfully. So are they going to ban when Saquon runs through the middle of the line of scrimmage and he comes up against a linebacker and they stalemating? What happens? Everybody on the defense piles on and they try to push him back. Everybody on the offense piles on and tries to push him forward. Does that mean that's going to be banned too? Is that a tush push too? So how are you going to regulate it? And like a couple people has reported from the owners meeting, the main people that are complaining about it is Green Bay. Green Bay and Sean McDermott. And just because you can't run it well, we all saw what Green Bay did when Jordan Love tried to do it. And clearly they didn't practice it. That's the other thing. Nick Sirianni has let everybody know we practice this a lot. That's why we're good at it. And that's why so many teams are hesitant to ban it, because you find a play and you practice it and can't nobody stop it. That's what you're supposed to do. Yeah, they're going to ban the A.J. Brown slant? Absolutely. Absolutely. And guess what? It's another hold on. Is this the Major League Baseball's with these torpedo bats? Have you guys seen this? Yankees are trying to circumvent the rule. So they got these torpedo bats where they're a little bit thinner. They're designed a different, or they cut them a different way. And the hot spot is in the middle. Let me see if I can find a good picture of it. Yep, they're already talking about it now. They're already talking about it now. This is let me see, who's this? This is on NBC Sports. But they already talking about the torpedo bats. If it's not one thing, this happens in all sports. All sports. CCB's got a picture of it. There we go. That's the torpedo bat. It's a little bit different. Where normally the fat part, you see it gets skinny. You see it gets skinny down here, right? Normally this is the fat part of the bat, but now the fat part is where the label is, and it thins out towards the end. But technically, it's still within the rules, still within the MLB rules. So they found a law that they didn't break, but they bent. And apparently, I ain't even really been watching baseball. I mean, baseball been going on for what, 3 days now? So now they knocking them out the park, and everybody's complaining. But watch, if Major League Baseball don't do something about it, everybody gonna be having torpedo bats. Yeah, that's what I heard, Carlos. They breaking records. 15 home runs in 3 games. So guess what? Everybody else is gonna do it. Ain't this the same thing that happened with Andro? Didn't nobody give a damn of what Andro was until Mark McGwire started hitting home runs. And that one, I'm sure you can go back and you can look it up. The one reporter saw it in his locker because it was legal, and they asked him what it was. And that started the whole steroids and baseball thing. So if he'd have just had his Andro behind the shoebox, it would have been broken. And let me be honest with you, that's why Barry Bonds did what he did. Barry Bonds was I believe Barry Bonds was he a Triple Crown that year? Or Barry Bonds did something. His stats were ridiculous that year, and it got overshadowed by Mark McGwire and Canseco, because they was hitting home runs. And if you look at that year that when McGwire happened, look at what Barry Bonds looks like, because Barry Bonds was still stealing bases and doing all of that stuff. He was a slim dude. He was super fast. And then when Mark McGwire happened, look at what Barry Bonds looks like after. How he blew up and taking the whatever he was taking, and his head blew up and he got bit. It's huge. But Major League Baseball did that. Same thing. They bent the rules. They found a way that they didn't break the rules, they bended them. And everybody in Major League Baseball didn't do nothing but jump on the bandwagon. And you got congressional hearings about baseball. It's like, are y'all serious? You got these idiots in Congress that don't know jack about sports trying to ask questions to professional athletes. And it just made our government sound stupid, because they didn't know what the hell they were talking about. And here's the bad part about MLB, and I know I'm going all over the place, but the MLB, if the MLB really cared about getting the drugs out of baseball, they would have gave back all that money they made from that home run race between McGwire and Canseco and Sammy Sosa. They would have gave all that money back. All them bats and merch that they sold. Do you know all the money they made when the home run race started? When McGwire started doing what he did? The amount of money they made is ridiculous. And if they cared about it that much, about getting it out of the game, get that money back. You ain't going to do that, though. Let me be honest with you. When I went to the World League, in 1995, when I went to the World League in 1995, when I was with the Eagles, I was 205. I was a 205-pound running back. By the time my second year, when I got to that first year in the World League, I was about 205. I think I went up to about 210. Going back that second year in the World League, when we won the title, I bulked up to like 225. I was 225, 8% body fat. So I know how you can do that. I know how easy it is. I had the equation: 2.2 pounds of protein, 2.2 grams of protein for every pound of body fat. I was eating like 300 something grams of protein a day. I was chicken salad with egg whites. Like, I was doing the damn thing. So I know how you can get on some of them supplements and stuff, and I know how you can bulk up. I've done it before, and it works. And it was legal. But everybody's trying to skirt the rules. Even going back to the whole subject of ego, I got to go back and look at this just so I can remember correctly. What was McGwire's reaction? I think he was very, very annoyed when the dude started asking him about what was in his locker. I think he got annoyed because he had to answer, and he wasn't sure what everybody was going to think about the Andros Stendione. And it was legal because he got it from a GNC. It was something you can get off the shelf. And that's when they started enacting all of these rules and, what was legal, what wasn't, all of that type of stuff. And what they did was they just started banning everything. Nobody wanted to do any homework. And let's be real, a lot of that, them supplements and shit, a lot of that snake oil, a lot of that shit don't work. A lot of it's placebo in a shiny wrapper. So, I don't know. A lot of ego involved, man. I don't want you to know what I'm doing. My way is best. Don't say nothing bad about me. If you do say something bad about me, you wrong. Yeah, man, there's just a lot of damn egos involved. And it's funny. It's getting to the point where it's almost where you just got to shake your head. Like when I see what's going on with LeBron and Stephen A, I just got to shake my head because it ain't a good look for Stephen A either. But he didn't already sign this contract, and you got so many people that don't like LeBron now, anyways, because you got people that don't like LeBron because they love Jordan or they love Kobe. So you're gonna always have that dynamic, and people fighting about that and all that type of stuff. LeBron is one of the best basketball players ever. Point period in the paragraph. Is he the best? Y'all argue about that. I don't give a damn. I know he brought my Ohio team a championship. That's all that matters to me. I don't care that he went to Miami and he did the same thing all these other players have been doing before him. And then everybody got mad at him. And that's when the hate started for LeBron. They wanted him to stay in Cleveland and continue to lose. That's what they wanted to do. They wanted him to be an honorable loser. But when Charles Barkley did it, when he went to way back in the day when he went to Arizona, not Arizona, but Phoenix. Yeah, Phoenix. Played for the Phoenix Suns. He was trying to win the championship. And I believe he made it to the finals, but they lost. He was ring chasing. Everybody does it. But why did LeBron get all the hate? Because you had a big contingency of people that hate LeBron because he threatened what Jordan was. All the people that are adults now or older, like my age now, we came up when Jordan happened. I was there when Jordan happened. I watched when he hit the shot at North Carolina. I watched when he came in the league and the Bulls were trash, but I still wanted to see him dunk because he stuck his tongue out, and I had never seen nobody do that before. But I remember watching Dr. J when he had the fro dunking in the ABA. I remember them games. And I remember how everybody wanted to see Dr. J. You just didn't see him a lot because it was different back then. When Jordan came on the scene and he rocked the cradle and did all of that stuff, we had never seen that before. And then when ESPN started putting it on SportsCenter, that's how SportsCenter got started. ESPN didn't get started till 78. Magic Johnson and Bird happened in 78. But ESPN didn't jump off until Michael Jordan started dunking, and all them dunks was on SportsCenter in the morning and at night. You watched it in the morning before you went to school or before you went to class, and you watched it at night if you missed it. They wasn't stupid. 7 p.m. SportsCenter. Why at 7 p.m.? Because that was the hour before prime time, before all the shows came on, and it was right when everybody gets home. You get off at 5. Everybody worked the 9 to 5. That means you get off at 5. That means you get home at about 5:36. That means you got time to sit down, have dinner with your family because it was still family time back then. So around 7 o'clock, you was done with dinner and everybody was sitting around the TV. And you watched SportsCenter. And at 8 o'clock, that's when the primetime shows came on. Dallas, Knots Landing, I don't know, Buck Rogers back in the early 80s, whatever it was. That's when it started. So it was a different era back then, man. And everybody wasn't so damn thin-skinned. Hey, Tiffany. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. So it's funny, man. It's just everybody. It's almost impossible when people say just let it go, because the groundswell of support or disdain on social media means more now than somebody could ever say to you to your face. Just a different time. We were built different, and I feel comfortable saying that because I'm one of them get off my lawn down. I'll be 55 in July. So I came through the invention of social media and the electronic age. I came up through that. I graduated college before Windows 95 existed. And I'm a computer guy. So I followed the evolution all the way up from MySpace, from AOL online to MySpace to what you got now with Twitter and Twitch and all these other ones. Instagram, Facebook, all of that stuff. I've been there from the start of it when it didn't exist. And it's so funny how people can get so bent out of shape from somebody they don't even know. That's the interesting thing to me. Yo, Carlos, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something about that. When the national anthem came on, when the TV shut down, that means everybody was going home from work. But real quick about the national anthem. When I played with the Eagles in '93, when they played the national anthem, we were in the locker room. We came out when the anthem was done, and then they announced the starting lineup. We were not on the field with the anthem. The reason they started doing that, the reason why they started flying the planes and the jets over the stadium, that is a paid military promotion. They're not doing that because they patriotic. They pay for that. Every time a C-130 flies over, or F-22 or a stealth, they pay for that. That is paid military promotion. A lot has changed, bro. A lot has changed. But listen, I got to get up out of here, man. It is 12:55. Hey, that was a good conversation, man. I had a lot of stuff to get off my chest, man. That was cool. And I didn't feel like editing a video. So I just went live and said, the hell with it. So, but I might have to start doing it and start bringing this back up again. But sometimes my schedule doesn't let me to. But when I can, I will. This is live at lunch. You're going to get in and get out. It's 12:55. You got enough time to wash your hands, get back to work, right? So I'm going to see you guys probably tonight. I'll be watching the games. I'll be watching the USC game. I'll be watching the TCU and Texas game. So yeah, this is going to be a good one. Though. We'll figure out who the final two people is going to the women's Final Four. So that's going to be dope. I see you, Nana. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. So come check me out tonight. I'll probably be on sometime live after the last game has concluded, and we're going to talk about that. So I'm going to get up out of here. Y'all enjoy y'all rest of y'all day at work, and I'm going to holler at you later. Peace.